What do cryptocurrency and cash discounting programs have in common? Really simple. They are both trying to solve the same problem, which is the cost of acceptance. Business owners today in the US market, especially, and even Canadian market and everywhere, but business owners in the US market, especially, they are getting tired of paying this high cost of acceptance, right? So they want to eliminate that cost. Cryptocurrency experts are looking at more of the long term. They're saying, hey, you know what? If we can get enough of a market going here where enough consumers are using cryptocurrency, like the new cryptocurrency Facebook just came out with, where they're actually working together with Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, tons of other companies. So if they can get a cryptocurrency that's actually broadly accepted, they could completely cut out the middleman. They don't need a bank. They don't need interchange fees. They don't need Visa and MasterCard branding, and the dues and assessments. So they could bring that cost down to nearly free and then get merchants to accept it. Now, don't worry, that's a long ways away, right? I mean, that's at least 3 to 5 years before you're even talking about a really, really serious pilot program of, major cryptocurrency acceptance. I know that it already exists. There's some of it out there, but as far as something that's really going to grab, something kind of coming into mainstream, that's, in my opinion, at least 36 months away, maybe even 48 months. It's quite a ways away because it's a chicken or egg problem. It's a networking problem. There's not enough consumers right now that regularly use cryptocurrency. Therefore, there's not going to be enough merchants that are going to want to accept it, right? So that's a little ways off. But in the meantime, you have cash discounting and surcharging, which is really accomplishing the exact same thing, right? Because business owners don't want to pay for the cost of acceptance. And so what's happening is they're latching onto these programs in huge and growing numbers every month, and it is becoming mainstream. I mean, cash discounting and surcharging is like right there. I got to meet with Jonathan Razi, the CEO of CardX, actually, when was that? Last week, and I was out at the MWAA. I took an Uber down to Chicago, went into his office there at CardX, and just even talking to him about it and just some of the trends that are out there. It's very interesting, the trends that are happening in our industry and how there is this big shift towards cash discounting and surcharging, right? And so a lot of argument, a lot of debate about should it be cash discounting or should it be surcharging, right? And that's not the purpose of this video. In fact, I'm not even advocating any of these ideas. I'm not advocating for, cryptocurrency acceptance. I think right now it's too early. Unless you're selling in like Manhattan or something, I don't think you really need your merchants to accept cryptocurrency right now. I really don't. I think it's too early. I'm not advocating for cash discounting or surcharging or both. I'm not advocating for any ideas. All I'm advocating for in this video is two things. Number one, there is a lot of change happening around our industry that if we're not careful, we're going to ignore that change and we're going to become susceptible to these huge disruptive innovations that have decimated other industries. Like, we need to be aware of what's going on. I don't care if you're selling out on the street as an individual rep or if you're running a big ISO, you need to be aware of what's happening in the industry. You just do. You got to know what's going on. I mean, if you haven't already, read some things about this new cryptocurrency that Facebook's working with, then, you need to be aware of that, right? You need to be following that. I mean, I already set up my Google News alert. Every time any news story comes out about that cryptocurrency project, I'm going to get an alert and I'm going to read it right away because I want to know what's happening, right? These are externals that could come in and have major innovation shifts. The changes that we've had so far have not changed the underlying fundamentals of the industry, right? Even Apple Pay. Look at Apple Pay, right? Apple Pay didn't change that much. What cards do you use with Apple Pay? You use your Visa or your MasterCard, right? And you store it in there. It's another way to pay, maybe a little more convenient, but it didn't change any underlying structure of the industry. But there are things happening that will potentially do that. So be aware of these changes that are happening. And then secondly, my other point is this. You need to be educating your merchants about these changes, okay? They need to know what's going on. And they need to be getting that information either from you as an individual if you're trying to build your personal brand, or from your company if you have a processor brand that you're building. You want to be the company that's educating the merchants, that is providing them with the information that they want. So they need to know that because merchants today are seeing all these changes and they want to know, do I have the right payment processing solution? Do I have the right technology at the point of sale? Do I have the right shopping cart technology? Do I have the right fraud prevention? Like, they see like the breaches with Target and they're like, oh my, well, how do I know I'm not going to get breached? They want to know these things. So you need to leverage the tools that we have available to us today, like LinkedIn, like Facebook, like email lists and text marketing and all these other things. You need to think about, how could our company or my personal brand educate our merchants so that we are not susceptible to attrition when these big innovations happen. Because if you're in the know, if you know what's going on and you're educating your merchants ahead of time, for instance, if you have this is so important for so many of you. If you have a portfolio of 100, 200, 300 merchant accounts, if you have not educated your merchants about cash discounting and surcharging yet, you're insane. You're crazy. You're going to lose a ton. You're going to lose 30% of your portfolio over the next 12 months. That's it, right? Why? Because they're going to learn about it and they're going to do it. And you say, well, James, I don't like cash discounting or surcharging. Okay, then tell your merchants why you don't like it. I'm not advocating for anything right now. I'm just saying educate your merchants. Is there a reason why you don't like cash discounting and surcharging? Or maybe there's a reason you like surcharging and not cash discounting, or cash discounting and not surcharging. Whatever, right? You are the one that is responsible for communicating your beliefs about these big changes to your merchants. And if you don't do that, somebody else is going to, and they're going to steal your merchant account, right? You need to let your merchants know, hey, look, if you're looking to upgrade technology, we can help you with that, right? If you're looking to eliminate your processing costs through cash discounting, either we have a program for that or we believe that's a bad idea and here's why. Right? Here's our alternative. You need to be educating them, sending something out that says, hey, you might have seen Facebook's new cryptocurrency. Here's our thoughts on cryptocurrency acceptance in 2019. Maybe your thought is you should do it. Great. Here's our program to do that. Maybe your thought is it's too early. Like me, I say it's too early. Tell your merchants it's too early. But you've got to communicate with them so that they know what's going on and so that they're confident that they're working with an expert that knows what they're talking about, so that the merchant, rather than searching for other providers, they feel comfortable that you're looking out for their best interest and you're going to help them through these changing times. My name is James Shepard. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening. Have a great day.